Hello, Lindsay Jane Hunter here. This video is for the Murray Hall Community Trust for the Creative Therapeutic Service, and this one's for parents. And this is a little bit about kind of how to help regulate your children, I guess. So we're in strange times and emotions are running really high. Everybody's very heightened in their feelings and their responses. And we're worried and our children are worried, and they are, as a result, often not behaving in the way that we might like. And so I thought it might be helpful to do a little video that kind of gave some suggestions about how we can kind of support them and also try and move through some of that, because I think we can find ourselves in situations really easily where we kind of go, that behaviour's not okay, and it might be hard and it might be tough and you might be sad or missing your friends or really worried, but actually that behaviour's not okay and it has to stop. And sometimes we don't word it like that to our children. And we kind of need to, we need to be saying to them, even when they're really small, it is okay to have the feeling that you're feeling, but the way it's coming out isn't. So for a really young child, that might sound like it's okay that you're really angry, but it's not okay to throw the plate on the floor or hit your brother or whatever. And what we can really do, if we've been really helpful, is we can do it's not okay to, but maybe we could, and kind of try to notice actually whatever they're doing, there's probably a need there. There's a big feeling and they need it out their body. And sometimes the behaviours that we see are an attempt to try and shift this feeling. And so maybe we can redirect to a kind of, it's okay to feel really angry. It's not okay to hit your brother, but it is okay to hit this pillow or that teddy, or to go in the garden and jump up and down and stamp your feet really hard, and to offer some other things that they can do. And so there's a kind of model for this. Brilliant practitioner called Dan Siegel. He's done a whole load of books about children's brains. I'd really recommend them. They're really easy to read. And they really have to explain what's going on in children's brains and how we can help them and support them as their brains develop, and with their kind of emotional well-being. And he has a strategy called Connect and Redirect. And it kind of sounds like, I guess, what I've just said. It's about understanding that when a child or an adult is engulfed in a really big feeling, they cannot engage with some kind of thoughtful, reflective, helpful suggestion, or indeed an instruction. So that could be that it's a really negative feeling, not a great way of explaining it, a difficult feeling, and they're all okay, all the feelings are fine, but a feeling that we're experiencing as not great in our home, or that we don't want to see our children in. It's hard seeing our children struggle. So it could be that they're feeling really angry, really sad, really upset, really frustrated. Something's happened that they don't think's fair and they're really wound up by it. But it could also be that they're really engrossed in a lovely feeling. They could be really stuck into their play, really engaged in something they're doing. And so often, what we do as adults is we interrupt them. So this is, on the one example, your child is totally absorbed in their Lego, for example, or whatever they're doing, and they're really in it, and this for them is all encompassing. They're focused, it's what they are doing, and they're in an emotional state of kind of flow. They're totally absorbed, and we come in and say something like, put that away now, it's time for tea, and they either ignore us or they have a total meltdown. And the reason is that they cannot connect with what we're saying to them. They can't do it. We've interrupted them in the middle of something else And their brain, it literally can't do it. It can't jump into thinking about stuff, which is what we're asking them to do. And it's the same in a really difficult feeling. So if your child is really, really upset about something, they're crying, they're distressed, what do we often say to them? Calm down. Or we try to reason them through it. So they're really, really upset because they can't go to the park. And we're saying, but no one's allowed to go to the park at the moment. It's raining outside. Maybe next week we can go to the park. But right now, we can't. But let's think about, and we're trying to rationalise, give them rational reasons and help them think it and understand. And they can't do it at that point. Later they can do it. But not when they're in that moment of distress. They can't. And the only way to get through to a child who is in their feelings so completely, or an adult, to be fair, we do it too, is to connect with the feeling first. And once we are connected with the feeling, authentically, genuinely there with them in the feeling, then we can redirect into the thinking or the next activity or whatever it is. So in a lovely situation, that might look like, wow, what amazing Lego you've built. Can I sit down next to you and hear about it? And sit down with them and let them tell you about it and genuinely listen, It's amazing what they do. And once you're in that place of, wow, yeah, that's amazing, great, let them have their spiel. And then you might say, this is so cool. And it's going to be tea time soon. And then after tea, we could do this for another 5 minutes before bath time. And we kind of move on to the bit that we want to happen, but we connect with them first. And because we've connected and engaged with them and we're there with them in the Lego, in the thing they wanted about, then they're already listening to us and they're connected to us. And it's easier to offer a transition then, to redirect. And in a really difficult feeling, that might kind of sound or look like, oh my goodness, you are so upset. You really, really, really wanted to go to the park today. I can see how much you wanted to go. I can hear you so upset because you really, really, really wanted to go to the park and you are so sad that we can't go. And then leave a gap. And don't leave a gap for a second and then go, but anyway, but actually just give them space, because if you're saying the right thing, if you've got it right, the feeling that they're experiencing and the reason why, it won't take long for them to come down again from that feeling, because actually it's been heard. How they're feeling has been given time and space, and that's really powerful. And so once you've got them there and they're looking at you going, I am so upset, then you can be with them. And as you feel them start to move through the feeling, that's when you can start gently to do the rational bit. But you can't do it at all when they're in it. And so connecting with it and naming it and giving them space to go, this is what this feeling's called. And I hear it and I see it, and it's okay to have it. Because often we don't give a message that it's okay to have the difficult feelings because we don't like it. It's horrible seeing your child distressed, firstly, and sometimes it's embarrassing and it makes us uncomfortable to see a child tantruming or crying or screaming. We don't like it, and so we try to stop it. Stop doing that. And the message for the child is stop having that feeling. It's not an okay one to have. We don't have that feeling here. And that's really difficult for them. Because actually we want the message to be ultimately, have the feeling, I see the feeling, it's okay, I'm here with you, I'm supporting you, you and me, we're on the same team against that feeling. Here we are together with it, and here's a way to deal with it. So I hope that's helpful. It's a lot of things in a short video, but hopefully it's just something to think about and something to practice. It takes practice, it's hard work, and give it a go. If you're not sure, any questions, please pop them in the comments, and we'll come back to you about it from Murray Hall and do our best to support you. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Connect with all the feelings and then redirect. Take care. Bye.